topic or doing interviews. You'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause it's the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. We have the one and only Dirk Vermin in with us, and I am beyond excited because I absolutely adore you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you.
I didn't know there was teenagers watching the show. Well, there goes half my material.
No, trust me, we have a huge array of audience, and we've had a lot of different types of guests, so you're
okay,
perfect.
Good.
You're great.
I'll keep the F words down to a minimum. So.
No, let them go. You're
Fuck yeah.
There we go.
Good.
There we go.
Get it out of the way. It's out of my system.
Okay, cool. But you are just absolutely incredible, and what I love about you too is you're so honest.
Maybe too honest, but thank you.
Well, I don't think so, because you're not mean about anything. You tell it like it is, and I respect that about people.
I think not anymore. I think when I started in the punk scene, especially in the kind of band that I was in, it was about confrontation.
Yeah.
So I really honed those skills on stage. But as I've gotten older, you know, it's sometimes it's good to keep your mouth shut. I don't do that, but maybe don't go for the cheap shot. You know,
Gotcha.
So I know what you're saying, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. But you have done so much stuff in your life, and
It's because I'm old.
No,
so
you're
if you
not old.
if you do a lot in
You're
that many
not
years,
old.
I'm pretty friggin' old. But
No, but you're a man of many talents, many talents. But let's start from the very beginning. Now,
Okay.
I know you are a singer, magician. I had a lot of magicians in the past couple of weeks.
Funny. I know too many in this town. That's a very cliquey bunch of guys.
It is.
You know, Mike Hammer, Murray. You know, they all seem to know each other.
Yeah.
But nobody hangs out with Chris Angel. It's the weirdest thing. Everybody but him. I know. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about, Chris.
Come on, Chris. Sit up. But musician.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, I'm a guitar player.
a guitar player.
There's a big difference.
Is there?
There is.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I've written 300 songs in my life. I can't tell you what key any of them in. I'm a guitar player. So.
Gotcha. Okay, guitar player.
Yes.
And author.
Upcoming author. This book has taken so long. It's just one of those things. But I'll let you continue, and then you kind of tell me what you want to talk about.
No, we're going to talk about all of it. Trust me.
Holy shit! It's gonna be a long hour.
It is. But so how did you what was the first thing that you started off with, and how did you get involved in so many different
Well, I
things?
think when I was in high school, which was a long time ago, drawing, painting, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I picked up a guitar when I was probably 10.
Oh, wow.
And I'm only slightly better than when I was 11. So I learned one lead, one chord,
So
figured
you
that
were
was
that
enough.
talented when you were
I don't mean it that way. I mean, holy shit, I should be better than I am. But I think that the art and that whole, whatever that art gene is that makes you creative, has just transferred over into absolutely every single aspect of my life. So I think it started out with painting and drawing, you know, and I even did comic books and stuff when I was a kid. I was never really a comic book guy, but in the early 90s, I did 2 Betty Page books. That was huge. This was before they even discovered her or anything.
Yeah.
And those got me a lot of recognition. And that actually got me into tattooing more in Los Angeles and all that stuff. And then paintings, and I was doing a lot of art shows in the 90s. And then music. You know, I started the Vermin in 1995. I was in a band called Vermin from Venus in the 80s. So I've really been playing music in this town for 30 years. Wow. Which is crazy. 3 times your age. So.
No.
Well,
not 10.
over twice.
Well, you are very awesome, and I think a lot of people, when they started really recognizing you, was when you got Bad Ink, and I think that's when you gained a
I
lot
wish
of
they would have
fans.
recognized me for other things, but yeah, I get it. You know.
But what I think people really like about you is because you were so honest and you're cool and you're very, very talented.
This is my favorite show ever. I'm just going to go on record.
I'm just going to kiss your butt the whole time.
Get a cavity from this interview, but go ahead. I'm teasing.
I'm super sweet. But so you started off with Bad Ink, and I know since then the show has ended and stuff. But it was a very successful show, and you had a lot of viewers.
It was, but if you don't play by the network's rules, and I'm not going to blame this on anyone. I did not enjoy doing the show like I should have. There was a lot of things wrong with it for me, and so I'm on set every day fighting for the show to be better. Maybe not put Sharpie tattoos for me to cover for a fucking punchline A&E, things like that. Yeah, I mean, there was that kind of stuff. Or give me a sidekick who's not in the industry. There was, and then looking at my real life, which is much more fascinating than, hey, let's go look on the strip for bad tattoos. That's like, which I don't do anyway. No one does that ever, So it was contrived from day one.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for that, and unfortunately for the network, you put me in a position where you want me to lie for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not a liar. I'll tell you the truth. We'd be in the middle of filming. I go, the show's fake. Don't watch it. And the producer would be like, what are you doing? But the problem is, if they would have just listened a little bit more to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not, because the show only went 2 seasons. And part of the reason it only went 2 seasons is because of my anger in not wanting to do it. It wasn't fun filming for 10 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week for fucking pennies, because you're not paid.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they dangle this carrot of the future. You're going to be able to take care of your kids. You're going to be rich and famous. You're never rich and famous.
Yeah.
You might get some notoriety and some popularity. And certainly I've traveled the world and people know me all over the world. But the first thing I tell them is, the show's fake. Don't watch it anymore. Don't support it, which is stupid. I should probably just shut my mouth, take the picture.
Get the residuals.
There's I have no ownership. So I don't get one dime. I was paid for my
goodness.
day of filming that week. I was paid for my day of filming. That's the end of my contract with the network. The fucking cameraman made probably triple what I did. So, I'm not crying. It's not.
And you were the whole show. Like, it wouldn't
Well,
have been a show
around,
without you.
the show was based around my life. And
nothing.
they take everything and give very little back. When, I mean, they take your personality, which, and that's what you're marketing. Are you likable in front of the camera? They have big meetings about, how do we market him and make him, so he doesn't seem too cocky or too this or too that, and that's, I understand that, and they never ever portrayed me bad.
Yeah,
but they practically portrayed me like Mr. Rogers or something. I ain't that fucking nice, trust me. But I am nice, but I'm not that nice.
No, yeah.
And so once they get their formula, they don't want to deviate from it. So the formula was the sidekick would say he got a phone call. What number they called, I have no idea, since he doesn't actually work for me. And then we would go to a bar, meet a girl who got a tattoo when she was drunk, and then we'd have a few drinks, and then I'd go work my ass off for 10 hours. Yeah. And it was just, and they really, really abused that, taking too much advantage of me. So by the time I wanted out at the end of season 1, they said they would sue me if I didn't do season 2. So the threats started almost immediately.
Yeah.
So I did season 2. Season 2 was infinitely better because all the stories were real. They didn't need any writers or enhancing the story like they did in season 1, where there was so much just, hey, Dirk, we need you to say this line. How about them, blah, blah, blah. And I'd go, well, I don't talk that way. But you do it. You're under contract.
No, you had to.
And the main thing that you figure out pretty quickly is when you sign that contract, they own you.
Yeah, you sign yourself.
And once and you do, but you think, and like they kept telling me, is you're going to be able to take care of your children.
Right.
In season 2, they cut my children out of every scene. I found out later, A&E, that was on fucking purpose. I can't prove that, so don't sue me. A&E doesn't watch the show, do they? But anyway.
A&E, don't take it.
They don't, whatever.
You're fine.
They got lawyers. They're ignoring me right now.
Live.
They could care less right now. Yeah, but also, so when the show ended, there was just this sense of relief came over me. Unfortunately, since you brought it up, it made me hate everything that I did, because I'm a tattoo artist, and I was one of the top cover-up artists on the West Coast. At least that's what I was told, and I proved it daily. But that's not all I did. So to pigeonhole me as the cover-up guy with the heart of gold, America, was doing me a little bit of a disservice, because I'm more than that, and I'm also more of a father than a guy who pretends to bake cakes or has a tranny give his daughter a bike at a birthday party. Whatever story they wrote. Do you know what I mean? So none of it was real, and so that was tough to play pretend, because we tell our children don't lie. Well, except when you sign a deal with a network television show, and then lie every day. So it gets. Yeah, it is what it is.
No, it's true. And that's sad because one of the things I really, really liked about this show was when it was personal and you did see your kids and stuff. And I think that's what made it a big difference from, just a tattoo show. And that was really cool about it.
The initial meetings that I had with the production company when I was first approached by doing the show, they loved that I was a father.
Yeah.
And a divorced father, too, who still is part of his children's life and respects the mother of his children.
Exactly.
So I never said anything bad about the mother of my children.
No.
She always did all the heavy lifting. She's amazing. And my kids are good because of her. And sometimes in spite of me, but because of her. So there was so much to pick from on who this guy is. And he owns his own shop. He's self-made. Upcoming author, all the music. There was so much to pick from. And they went, let's just have him walk the strip with a sidekick and look for tattoos. Yeah. And I go, that's the show? Yeah. What about those meetings we had? What about everything that we, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, okay, that's the show. All right, what are we doing today? Oh, we're looking for bad tattoos. So.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
God, I miss television.
It seems like I could tell you're really heartbroken.
I could care less. You know, at the end of the day, I hate complaining about it, but sometimes it's nice, and all of this will be put in the book that I'm doing, The Devil and Dirk Vermin, coming to a store near you in, I don't know, 10 years. It's taking forever. But it's nice to be able to tell the story as it exactly happened, because when you get a phone call to be on television, and I'd done a little bit of television before. Yeah. I did an episode of Miami Ink and a few other minor things. So I was aware of the process, and it's fun, and it's fun to act and put on makeup and do all those things and be something else. But when you get a television show based on your life, that's not based on your life.
Yeah.
It's like people who watch Duck Dynasty or the Kardashians and think they're watching a documentary. Wow, they're going swimming today at the something, and it's not realizing that was set up by producers and written by writers, and people are like, wow, the life they live. It's not the life they live. So the way I came to grips with it the most, you wanted to talk at some point, right?
No, go. No, I want this whole, you're so interested. I'm like, I love it.
Okay, good,
yeah,
good.
No.
I just realized it's called Corey Talks, and I'm not letting her. So
Corey talks to people.
Corey
not
talks.
To me.
Corey listens
not
is what.
Me,
this episode is called Corey Listens to a Man Who Won't Stop Talking. So.
No, I love it. No. I love it.
Anyway, so the way that I came to grips with all of it, because there was so much anger when it ended, and happiness too, because it's like the burden of it came off. But now people are coming in the shop, and people are, they think that hey man, we love the show. You doing cover-ups today? That's the accent of everyone who watched the show. And I'm like, the show isn't real. And they're like, what do you mean? Hey, we were at Duck Dynasty. It's real there. We're going to Custom Net. We're going to Pawn Stars, and all. And they just think they're watching. And I'm no ignorance to people who talk about that. I'm so sorry, but boy, that seems like an accent that is just really prevalent with people who come to visit. And now no one's going to come to visit the shop, and both your viewers will.
Right.
Whatever. I'm just telling the truth. But so if I can go back to some point I'm making, ADHD is a real thing. It really is. So. I was playing a character called Dirk Vermin. But to me, and so when I was able to just say that out loud, because it's like if you run into Jerry Seinfeld and you go, how's Elaine and Kramer? Because he played a character named Jerry Seinfeld, based loosely on his real life. So, but that was a sitcom.
Yeah.
And he had much better writers than I had. But regardless, it wasn't real.
Yeah.
Now, reality TV wants you to believe it's real. And the network never wanted me to talk about this ever. And I'm not doing this for any publicity.
No,
I don't care, because I don't want to be on television. Yeah. And I realized very quickly, since there's no money in it, what was the reason to do it? Okay, well now I got fame and I can travel the world. I don't pay much for drinks, but unless every person who loved my show hands me $1, I'm still fucking poor. Because filming television does not pay the bills like tattooing did. And the other things that I have going. So, and we'll talk about that once we get off this television chapter. So, anyway.
No, but I think that was really interesting, because I remember even back when reality television first happened, everyone was like completely convinced it was all real, and so, like, I Love the Simple Life and stuff. Still do. But then you realize, oh my gosh, it's all scripted, and it's sad, but it is. And I think that's a lot of people like judge a lot of reality stars and stuff, but it's a character, and I think that's a really good point to bring up too.
Well, and I just wish that the networks that do these kind of shows, and it seems like reality TV is kind of dying off a little bit.
I agree.
Thank God. What a horrible format. I mean, really, you take non-actors and act them to act out scenes that may or may not have happened in their life. Mm-hmm. Like I have a soccer mom tattoo. They thought that story was great, so we recreated it 10 years after the fact. because it was a funny story.
Gotcha.
Well, that's great, but it's also really dishonest.
Yeah.
And so let's just call it what it is, instead of pretending and asking me to pretend. And I told the network and their lawyers, you're not paying me enough to keep the lie. You're not paying me enough.
Yeah, no,
Tell me,
right.
pay me something to shut my mouth and I'll shut it.
Yeah.
Well, probably not. But but it's just so funny that how cheap they ultimately are. They spent more money on the promo, the intro to the show, like $500,000. I mean, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
We rented this car and we drove down the strip, and they had a movie crew. It was incredible.
Yeah.
They really spent a lot of money on it, and I'm like, okay, all right. And then they stopped caring about the bigger things: integrity, honesty, words that have some meaning, and words that you have, and you know what they mean, and your mother taught you. Hi, Mom. Things like that. And then we just dismiss it all and become a product. So once I became a product, it was really tough to wrap my head around what that actually meant, until now I travel the world and I go to different places, and when I can talk to people and tell them the truth, they're actually very happy about that.
Yeah.
Because I never would be the guy that goes, yeah, thanks for watching, the show was great and it was all real.
Yeah.
I was never that guy, and so which makes me a very bad representative.
No, but I think
of the
people
show.
appreciated that.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, I mean, it's all speculation now, but had the show have gone multiple seasons, would I have been so?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now I'm actually rich and famous. Because we know a lot of local celebrities in this town.
Yes.
We don't necessarily have to name them, Pawn Stars, but that aren't quite as nice with their fame. And these guys are millionaires now.
Yeah.
And so that show was every bit as fake as mine.
Yeah.
Maybe worse. So I don't know. Enough TV.
Yes. But let's talk about Pussycat Tattoos.
Absolutely.
Your tattoo shop, which is amazing. And that's really cool that you opened your own tattoo shop. I mean, not a lot of people.
1997
That's awesome.
was when I originally opened it. It became Pussycat
That's when I
in
was
1990.
born.
Yes.
So
See?
we have
Look
a
at that.
connection. There we go.
Yes, I'm old as dirt, and you're young and youthful, and all that stuff. But
So for almost 19, or probably 19 years now. So that's that's an amazing thing to have. And
well, in Vegas, when things don't last very long, it's nice to.
Exactly.
And I've been in the same location since '97.
wow.
It's been Pussycat since '99, so we turn 18 next year. We're almost legal. But I'm very proud of that shop, and the majority of shop owners in this town used to work for me at some point. So there's some bragging rights there of the pedigree of what's gone on in that building
For sure.
for almost 20 years. So it's a great shop, the first custom shop in Vegas history.
Wow.
Regardless of what anyone tells you, we were the first custom
I
shop
believe
in
it.
Vegas history.
No.
So.
And for it to be open that long, like you said, that really is an amazing
Especially
feat.
since I'm such a shitty businessman. Ask the IRS, they know.
Or don't ask.
Oh, that audit. Yeah.
And you have done, I'm sure, a bazillion tattoos in your life and stuff. Is there one that like really ever stuck out to you, like for either like how horrible it was or like how
I
great
think
it was?
one
or-
thing I will say about the TV show, especially in season 2, when all the tattoos were real and real stories.
Yeah.
They found the craziest ones they could. So I didn't watch the show enough to remember all of them. You know what I mean? I sat through about 4
understand.
episodes. I'm like, see what else is on TV. You want to get that there? So, but anyway, so I mean, only because I do so much more than cover up tattooing.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I don't know what the fucking question is anymore.
But we have a caller. Repeat that.
Hi, this is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going, Turk?
Oh, not bad. How about you? I told her that she had followers. She said no one was listening to the show tonight.
I always listen to the show.
Oh, that's
so
great.
you
Corey's
always have
amazing.
followers. I'm glad I don't sound like your mom, though.
you don't know that. My mom smoked a lot of Marlboros. You don't know that.
Well, I was just wondering if you were ever going to start up a band again.
I have a new project called Dirk, Vermin and the Hostile Talent. We actually started last year, but I took some time off for other projects and things. I do have writing an album as we speak. Hope to have it out by March.
Oh, very nice.
Very much in line with what the Vermin was doing if we had matured, which most 20-year-old punk bands in town don't really mature. But I'm very excited about it. I've got some really good players and a second guitar player for the first time in my career to really thicken up the sound. So very, very excited about that.
Excellent. I'm excited about to hear it then.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Corey.
Awesome. Very cool.
Ah, Jeff sounded like a very nice young man.
Yes, he did.
Great question.
And then I want to talk about now. I know this is like a lot of like people agree and don't agree, and it's kind of a big topic in like tattooing and stuff. But I think that a lot of tattoo artists don't technically have to have any training or anything to become.
That's not really true.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, I mean, if go ahead, tell me where you were going.
No,
with the
but I
question.
was saying like basically what you need is like a health certificate or.
Well, what you need is an apprenticeship.
Oh, is that
You can't get a health card to be a tattoo artist without minimum of 6 months
Gotcha.
of training. So when you come into a shop as an apprentice, you go down to the health department and you start that process, and you're not allowed to be a tattoo artist for 6 months minimum. That's just the local industry standard. We're not licensed per se,
Yeah.
but we are governed by the health department like a restaurant is. Like you don't need a license to be a waiter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah,
comparing
no.
waiters to.
No, of
I'm just
course.
saying that there's no tattoo license, but the industry polices itself on that. So we want our apprentices to be as good as they can be.
course.
So we spend the hours with them. My apprenticeships that I've done are 3 years,
Wow.
and that first year you don't do anything but answer phones, scrub toilets, and show that you're willing to put in the time. Because I'm giving you the ability to make money without an education, without a college education, 6 figures within 5 years if you do it right. So that's a tremendous gift to give someone.
Absolutely.
And so if you take it very seriously, and I apprenticed in Los Angeles back when you couldn't apprentice in Vegas because there were not very many shops here. They were mostly run by bikers, and you were not getting in whether you wanted to or not. I took my portfolio around every shop in this town, and I was turned down because who are you? Who are you, kid? Kind of thing. So as I was doing more art stuff in LA, I was invited to a shop out there. We don't need to go into that too much, but only because it's boring. so that's did that answer any of your questions?
No, it did. No,
Okay, good.
because I don't know where I was told this, and I think a lot of people might think this, and I always was told that you basically what you needed was the health card, but that makes sense, and that's a good thing that you need at least 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways in. Some shops, you just pay them enough money, they'll teach you to tattoo as quickly as you can, but the shops like mine, and I don't do apprenticeships that often, and I only apprentice women, period. No offense, boys. But and it's nothing to do with being a creep. It's more, I just don't want to spend 3 years with some dude up my ass, No. I'd rather have because I like, and there's not enough women in the industry, although that has changed dramatically in the past 10 years. I have 3 women in my shop alone.
Wow.
And that's almost half.
Yeah.
Because I have 8 artists and 3 of them are women. That's a pretty good ratio. And they're all badasses. And sometimes it's nice to see the feminine touch to any sort of design. You know what I mean? It's interesting to see the differences in that kind of tattooing. So
Absolutely. No, that's really cool. And now I'm sure you've been asked to do a million different types of tattoos and everything. Is there any tattoos you won't do, or some places
I
you
won't do most
tattoo?
tattoos.
Oh, really?
I'm so arrogant. I'm just like, and if it's something I don't want to do, it might not be because it's okay. I won't do racist tattoos.
Yeah.
I won't do ugly tattoos. I won't do demonic tattoos. I like devil worship and things like that.
Yeah.
I have devil tattoos, but my devils smoke.
Different,
Yeah, they
right?
smoke cigars and wear diapers, and and I did date his daughter for many years, but but I won't do. I just won't let you put anything negative, not from my room,
Right.
Even because what you're into this year might not be what you're going to be into in 10 years. So if you put negative things on your body of any kind, you have to back that up at some point.
Yeah.
And so, especially if it comes to say you were floating around with the skinheads when you were young, and that's kind of how you were part of this gang and protected yourself. Well, now you've outgrown those ideals, and you have children and now you've got this horrible, hateful thing on you. Well, that's where I come in as a cover-up artist, and I'm able to help you get rid of that. But that stigma has stayed on that tattoo because the energy put into it was negative. The energy you looked at it and enjoyed it with in your youth of anger was negative. So it never, psychologically, it just ruins you, So yeah, so I won't do any of that kind of stuff.
That's a very good point. I never even thought of it that way. And I think that's awesome that you stick to your guns like that.
Well, and then also and this is on the other side of that, but this is just as vital information. First of all, stay off of Pinterest Corey's tattoo ideas. We're all sick of the infinity symbols and the birds flying off and and God knows what else.
Pretty, so
Well, right now, no, these tattoos are well done. Right now, it's watercolors and stipple. That's like what's going on.
I love watercolor.
And they look
tattoos.
really nice. I'm not going to stand by them. I can't do them.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. But the point I was going to make before I started bashing tattoos was that, like, okay, a woman comes in to my shop and her husband's dying from cancer, and so she wants to get the ribbon of the cancer he's dying from. And I say, and when you say this out loud, it makes complete sense. But no one's ever told her this. Because everyone, you should get the cancer ribbon because he's, I go, so the most important thing about the man you love is the disease that's killing him? I go, you're giving the cancer all the power. I go, no. Let's think about his life. And so it turns out he was a welder. So instead, she ended up getting a heart with some rivets and rust on it and his name, like an old school heart, but done as if it was welded.
Yeah.
I go, because when you look down at that, you're going to smile because you're going to remember what you loved about the man that you spent your life with.
Right.
If you look down at a fucking cancer ribbon every day, you go, yep, cancer got him. You want to get lunch? You know what I mean? And it's really kind of a bad thing. So I always tell people to not embrace the disease because it gives it that power.
Yeah.
To celebrate the life, don't memorialize the death. And so when you look at it that way, I had another guy come in and he wanted gravestones, and as each family member died, he'd put their name on a gravestone. I thought, wow, that's just a countdown to death. What a horrible idea. So instead, I go, why don't we talk about because he just lost an uncle who was very close to him, and it turns out, well, his uncle used to take him to A&W root beer every week, and so we ended up putting the A&W root bear or whatever it was on him. So now he looks down, he smiles, and he thinks about his uncle instead of like, well, he died on this day. And I won't even usually let people even put dates on and stuff. I just think it's too final.
Yeah.
And it makes people look at your tattoo, it makes them sad. Like you look down and you go, oh, they lost someone in 2012. I don't want to talk to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's more psychology to tattooing than I think even most tattoo artists understand.
Yeah.
And because we deal with death and memorializing people and events, because tattooing is very healing on that level.
Yeah.
I understand this. I understand it because 25 years in the industry as well, but I understand why this advice is good and why you can take a different approach to memorializing someone that you lost or someone that means something to you, as opposed to the sadness of the disease that killed them. Man, that was a long one, wasn't it?
No, I think that's amazing. You're completely right. I never thought of it that way.
Well, people come in and they think that they're paying tribute to their mother who died from breast cancer by putting a breast cancer ribbon on.
Right.
I'm sorry, where's the tribute? You're just tributing the disease. So you're dismissing your mother's entire life except for the thing that killed her. That's awful.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's completely true.
Man, I'm smart for a tattoo artist.
You're smart for anyone. That's some deep level, and it makes complete sense, and it does give the power to the wrong stuff.
Well, and when you do it enough, and especially take it as serious as you do, and the irony that I did a TV show that wasn't serious is hilarious. But whatever, you make choices in life. Fuck, I hate that TV show. But anyway.
No, and then I gotta ask, because I got a tattoo on my foot, and a lot of people said like that.
Mom, was that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
But a lot of people said that was like the most painful place to get it and stuff. But I didn't, I'm a crybaby, and I hate pain and stuff, but I didn't cry at all. It was a little ooh, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Would you say the most sensitive place, or the other places?
Oh, there's much more sensitive
places.
Really? Yeah.
What would you say is the worst?
I'd say the armpit's pretty bad.
Oh.
That was awful. Yeah. And there's a lot of areas. What we call the ditch, that centerpiece of the arm here, that and the wrist are the two most sensitive spots on that arm till you get up in the armpit. There's a lot of worse places than the foot. So.
Yeah. Well, then, okay. I don't feel too brave.
Nah, you did good. You did good. You were tough. It is the toughest spot. That's what I meant.
Thank you. That's right. Thank you.
Corey Taylor talks.
Thank you. I think we have another caller, so before I ask my other question, I'll get that real quick. Or not. Okay. And do you have a favorite tattoo of your, on your own body?
Are we talking to her?
Oh, okay. We had the caller. Okay, so caller, you are live with Corey Taylor Talks. Who are we talking to?
Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi. Hey, how's it going?
Very good.
Mine's kind of like a two-part question. Can I
how
do
did
the second part
Annie-
first, or do I have to do the first part second?
You can do the second part first if you
Answer,
like. We can change
ask
things
any
up a
question
bit.
you want, sweetie. I'm just teasing.
Okay. How did Annie pick you to do the show? Like, did they sought you out? Like, how did that happen?
They
And
did
then-
seek me out.
Okay.
I had been approached before and was pretty dismissive of it, only because the ideas were so bad. And I sure don't mean to just bash Bad Ink. It was just a bad experience for me, and I'll leave it at that. The show itself was entertaining, well shot, well directed, well everything. But so yeah, they flew me out to New York and kind of wined and dined me, and I really was looking. It sounds very noble to say it was for my kids, but in my head it was. I thought, wow, if I do this, I get that kind of recognition and money that will be able to take care of my children. That was my bottom line, and I also told them I didn't want a show that had drama. I didn't want to scream just for effect or yell at people. So we kept the comedy aspect. So there was a lot of good to it too. So did that answer? That didn't answer any of your questions, did it?
You kind of actually answered my second part, because I was going to ask, was there anything good that came out of it? So
I met my
you can ask
wife.
that.
I met my wife.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And she's beautiful, incredible. She was cast on the show in season 2. Her story was 100% true, as all the stories were in season 2. I wish we'd have kept that integrity in season 1. I mean, the setups were still bullshit. Trust me. I'm not riding in a car looking for anyone, But these people were cast, and sought out by the network through casting calls in season 2. Because the stories were real, and after the show aired the first season, we had a lot of interest in that. But but ultimately I'd had enough press before and enough recognition, especially in Las Vegas, for who I already was. And then I did an episode of Miami Ink, and I think that might have been how they became aware of what I looked like on camera and what I might bring to a television show. And then they were the ones who actually did it. It was originally going to be on True TV. True TV backed out. The production company, Sharp Entertainment, was amazing. Matt Sharp actually stepped up, got the footage back, and sold it to A&E. So it was
Awesome.
yeah. Well, now
Thank you very much.
Now you don't have to buy the book. Shit, I just told the whole story.
Yeah, thanks.
No, buy the book. There's a lot more. Sure.
No, I've actually really enjoyed listening to you. I've always been a fan of yours since the show, and it
Oh,
was nice
Charlie,
talking to
thank
you.
you.
You're a really nice guy. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Charlie. Thank you so much.
No problem. Take care.
Have a
Thanks.
good night.
Bye.
Both your listeners are amazing.
We had some cool listeners.
I know,
We
I'm
really do.
Yeah. No, this is neat.
Cool. Thank you.
I haven't gotten to vent in a while since this
Let
afternoon.
it all out. This is the place to let it all out.
Good.
Anything you want. Okay, but I was asking before, what is your favorite tattoo you have on yourself? Because you got a lot, obviously.
Yeah, too many. According
No,
to my
I
daughters.
like it.
I have my daughter's names on my rib cage. Those are the most personal.
Yeah.
Because I'm tattoos can mean a lot of things. Sometimes to me, I always say, it's just a tattoo. Relax. It doesn't have to be. Well, I think all tattoos should have meaning. Really, I don't think that they should. What do you think of that? Now we have a difference of opinions. Let's discuss it. And that's okay. Now, if you only have a few tattoos, you're going to find that they have more meaning. Because you're picking out, when you get like this, you're like, hey, can you fill in this spot? What do you want to throw there? I don't give a shit, whatever. So for me, I actually have a little zebra that I got for my now wife, and this was a little animal I got her because of a confusion with a blanket. It's a long story. Chapter 47, I think. No, but she was having a real tough night at work, and it's right there.
Oh, it's adorable.
Yeah, so
I love
it's
it.
adorable.
I mean, it's very manly.
So it's meant to be adorable. I don't have that kind of ego. I got no problem. I can goof off with the best of them. But so that little zebra became really important to us, and we were like bringing it to bars, and I'd take pictures of it. And zebra's having a cocktail now, and all that stuff. And she'd be at work, and so it just became this funny thing. And it was literally because I said Zebra 2 when she pulled this blanket over herself. And I was all tired, and I went to grab her skin, and I'm like, Zebra 2? Meaning you got the zebra blanket too? And she just lost her shit and started laughing. And so she kept saying Zebra 2 for like 2 weeks. So then I found that little stuffed zebra and gave it to her on her birthday, and it said, I love you, and Zebra 2. Everybody just, Boy, that story actually gave me a cavity. But so it just became this cute little thing. And so I was at the shop. I go, I'm going to tattoo that on myself. And it took like a half hour, and then I took a picture of it and sent it to her. And her exact words, prepare yourselves, were, oh, no, you fucking didn't. And I wrote back, oh, yes, I fucking did. And an exclamation and stuff. And that,
And that's when I knew. But no, she's pretty great. She's pretty great.
And I have to say, you're an amazing husband and father. You really are, and I think that's so cool.
Well, I thank you. I was saying earlier, I think there's not a father alive who thinks he's doing a good enough job, and I certainly am there. I apologize to my kids constantly, and to my wife a little less, because she's right there. But my kids, unfortunately, don't live with me enough of the time. And you just. It's tough being a dad,
No,
especially when you work so hard and you want your kids to have everything. Well, that means you're at work. And I'm not saying their mother doesn't work. She works her ass off. But she gets the benefit of having the children living with her and stuff. But thank you for that. I hope it's true, and I hope my daughters feel that way.
Oh, I will tell you, because I myself don't have the best father in the world, and we've had a lot of issues and stuff, so I always think it's so awesome, and I recognize that dads are really amazing dads, and I think that is so cool, and even though you might not be able to give them the whole entire world, you do everything in your power to.
Well, for sure.
You're really, I think
but I think the one thing that I am with them that maybe too much is I'm honest.
Yeah.
And they can ask me anything, they can... I'm there, and that's not always easy, because then you sometimes run the border of being their friend, and I don't need to be their friend.
Of course, yeah.
But I'm probably more of a friend dad than a real dad. You know what I mean? I'm like, what do you want? Anything? I'll give you that. And it's just I don't. But I have such good kids too that there's not
They're
a lot
great
of
kids, so
there's
you
not a lot
can
of
tell from
discipline.
the
Yeah,
thing.
there's not a lot of discipline needed
Yeah.
because they're just good kids. I mean, they're in their teenage years now, so they're moody and bitchy and all that stuff. But even that's endearing. I don't care. I was kind of a jackass when I was 15, and I was so much worse than my children. My kids. I'm like, you guys can drink.
Don't let them know that.
Oh no, they know. Again, no filter. But I'm like, you guys want a drink? You can cuss if you want. They're like, we're good, thanks, Dad. It's just kind of funny to be a generation that was a lot more, rough and tumble, I guess, than the new generation where they're just everybody's on Facebook and they're all that stuff. And we are. That's what. And I get it. It's kind of the new world. But I grew up in a time that didn't have that.
Yeah.
So the fun that we had to create. And that's why I started playing music and all that is because we didn't have Facebook.
Well, there you go.
Thanks to all my Facebook fans, though. Seriously.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll be more with Dirk Vermin, so stick around. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Corey Taylor Talks live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. Once again,
What's the #2 teen talk show?
They don't matter. They don't matter.
It's called Corey Listens. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's about the Corey Listen show, but it's a great show. This is one of my favorite shows I've ever done. Like, truly.
Good.
I think you're just so cool, and you
you're
tell
very
like
kind.
it is, and you're awesome.
That's a little too honest sometimes, but no.
No, you're doing great. Amazing. But Dirk is an incredible guy, and if you guys are just tuning in now...
and I'll be here every week, apparently, if my ego needs it.
Yes! Oh, I would love it. But incredible, and you're going to be laughing your butt off in a couple of seconds. But I want to talk about, I'm sure because of the show and stuff, you've got a lot of recognition and everything. Have you ever done any, celebrity tattoos?
I have. Mm-hmm. But weirdly, I can't talk about it, not because he just asked me not to.
Oh, gotcha.
I tattooed someone very famous, and he paid a lot of money for me to shut my mouth, so I'm shutting my mouth.
Well, then we won't talk about it.
Yeah, and outside of that, I don't like celebrities per se. I don't consider, not that you asked me if I was a celebrity, which you didn't, but some people think I am, and I'm not. I mean, that's just...
He's very modest.
It's a silly word. I'm a celebrity. I'm famous. Pay attention to me. It's stupid. But yeah, I've done, and I did some work way back and fake tattooing for television. I did a show called Las Vegas on James Caan. I designed his tattoo, and that tattoo was worn by Sylvester Stallone and Alec Baldwin and a few other people. And it was done for the character.
Yeah.
So it was just as real as anything on season 1 of my show. So, but yeah, I tattooed a really famous man many years ago, and he came in. He just could not have been nicer and kinder. This would be someone your mother probably listened to when she was younger, But what a sweet man, So yeah. Kind of a big deal, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was all I needed. He just got a silly little tattoo for his grandson, but
that's a cool thing. That's a really cool thing. And I know you're not into the celebrity thing and everything, but if you could tattoo anybody, do you have something that you're like, God, I love to tattoo
No,
them. No?
I really don't. You know, and
Yeah.
I think that it's because I'm not that impressed by that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that I'm above it or below it. I don't mean it in that way. I don't really look at. I don't know even who I admire anymore. I think when I was a kid, it was, you know, I always was drawn towards, you know, like, you know, Clint Eastwood and James Bond and those kind of people and those kind of characters. But as you get older, I still enjoy those kinds of movies and those kind of roles. But I've met many people, and I've met many famous people in my life, and they're just people, you know, and they're just, you know, they're like, hey, I'm a fan of the show. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. But it's just, so I don't really know if I have an answer for that.
Yeah,
you know?
No, I understand, and that's kind of a cool thing, I think. And I know, I like a lot of your things. You're like, I just tattoo, like my personal clients and everything that you already have. Are you ever planning on accepting new clients and everything? No,
because I'm gonna be backing off tattooing again as I'm moving into other ventures. Over 20 years in the business, my clientele base was massive before the TV show.
Yeah.
At last count, I've had over 20,000 requests. And everybody wants a cover up, and everybody wants the show. So
And you don't want-
I don't want to do cover ups.
Of course.
You know, I'm just tired of it. You know, they come in and they want to, hey, you're gonna laugh at my tattoo. I go, I'm not gonna laugh. There's no cameras here. I've never laughed at anyone's tattoo. Let's see what you got. Holy shit, that's funny. You know, so it's just they at least they used to want the show. I think I've been so vocal about my feelings about it and wanting to be more. Like I'm not dismissing why people know why I'm on the Corey Taylor Talk Show. I'm not dismissing why that is, but there's a lot more to me than the fact I did a TV show. That is just one of the things I did. It's the thing that made me, quote unquote, famous. But now it's up to me. What do I do with that fame? You know, the last thing I said to A&E when it was kind of an FU was, thanks for the fame. I'll take it from here. So now I move forward into being an author. I have 2 books coming out within the next couple of years. I'm going to be practical about it. I've been working on The Devil and Dirk Vermin for 6-7 years, and it's impossible to find the time because I still have to pay my bills. You know, it'd be nice to write on an island under a beautiful, you know, but it doesn't work that way.
I think that's everyone's dream.
Yeah, but because you know, writing a book doesn't pay the power bill, so you have to be very realistic about it. As I move into other ventures, it's tougher for me to spend time tattooing, and because tattooing takes a lot of time because you got to get the design ready. Now, if you have a tattoo like today, I spent all morning working on the design, all afternoon tattooing it, and then rushing over here, and then after here, I'm going drinking. It's just my favorite thing in the world. But after my wife and children, sorry. but having said that, I am moving into alcohol production. and have this amazing deal with a partner out of Southern Australia. I can only talk a little bit about it just because it's all pending and contracts haven't been signed. But this is a big deal. And this is something I've been working on for a few years. I was briefly involved with Penthouse Magazine. I was going to be doing a monthly column for them called The Passions and Pitfalls of the Postmodern Male was the first article. And then Penthouse went belly up. You know, so things happen, they come and go. I've had more television offers for years now, but the first thing I asked them for is money. I said, I already did it. We already know the show. Netflix bought it. We know the show makes money. So when I say I will not film without money up front, well, that's unheard of. And I go, sorry, I was already on TV.
Yeah.
If you want the guy that was on TV, you need to pay him because I was not paid very well for television. So I'm not going to be. Why would I go back to do television for more fame?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I want to move into things that actually might change my life financially. And I think that this alcohol deal especially is going to be life changing, and I'm going to be working my butt off the next 3 to 5 years to make this as successful as I can. In addition to that, it's a cigar called Vermin coming out. That will probably be within the next 2 years because the priority has shifted to the alcohol.
Yeah.
And then of course the books. There's a lot coming up. Oh, and then writing an album and, you know, curing cancer. My God, do I have a busy palate? But, you know, busy plate, sorry. But, you know what I mean? So it's being someone, not that we asked about it, who was born with ADHD. This is just natural, and I can't focus, and sometimes I can't get a sentence out without going off to, 10 different directions. Rather than take Adderall, I decided to do 10 things.
Yeah.
The problem with that is I am doing 10 things, but each one of them suffers a little because there's 10 things. So what I need to learn this year, this is a note to myself, is how to balance that and how to actually. So I think that this partnership with the alcohol deal is going to be huge because it's going to force me to have to step up and make that a priority. And if that's the priority, then everything else will fall into place, because as I become more well known for other things, the interest in the book will be more than just, hey, wasn't that guy on TV?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's his book about? Being on TV? I don't think I care anymore. So I need a different ending for the book anyway. So I got to do some more living. Because right now the ending of the book is, and then I was kicked off TV and went into bankruptcy, and that's a horrible ending for a book. So we're gonna pick a different ending. So,
It's honest.
Oh yes, it is.
But I know a lot of there's a bunch of different celebrity alcohols and stuff now. So and there's so many different kinds of alcohols, of course. How do you choose which ones and stuff? Because that's and you want to make sure it's
well, yeah, and this
quality
is
and everything. Of course.
Oh yeah, but I'm going into business with pro players, guys who are already, my partner is one of the most respected wineries in Australia, as well as, I don't know how much I should be talking about this, but he'll never hear it. Sorry, Randall, don't fire me. But I'm working on the designs right now. But I don't view this as a celebrity alcohol. I'm not Brad Pitt. I'm not whoever makes, I don't know, whatever does he make alcohol? I don't know. I know George Clooney does. And that to me, that's a little different. This is more hands-on as I get into production, and these are alcohols that I actually drink. So I have some knowledge just from, sounds horrible, being an alcoholic, but they're not asking me to sell Pepsi. So my passion has God, I'm such a piece of, okay. I'm not an alcoholic, but I play one in my next venture. For me, I've earned the right for that drink.
Yeah.
It's not like, I can't handle life. It's more like, what a good fucking day. Whoosh, I deserve it. What a shitty day. Whoosh, I deserve that. There's a million reasons to drink, and I love them all. If you are careful and do it, moderation and all that stuff. And moderation means 6 glasses of whiskey, no more. And Uber.
Yes.
Or tattoo a lot of cops. Tattoo a lot of cops. That's what I do. That's actually how I do it. But
you
yeah.
will be accepting new clients.
Yes. Yeah. Pay off that DUI. But I'm joking. But also I'm very, very, very passionate about alcohol and what it does. And I remember when I was one of my many therapists throughout life. Join us next week when I talk about my therapy. They wanted to put me on different medications to control this manic behavior that you're witnessing right now. And I said, I don't see the difference between taking a pill every day or having a shot of whiskey. I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see it. And they go, well, actually, if you take this pill every day, you won't need the whiskey. I go, oh my God, what a horrible idea that is. Because I enjoy the whiskey, and whiskey is social to me. I don't drink so much whiskey I can't stand.
Right.
I drink enough whiskey so that I don't care if my shoelaces are in the right order.
Yeah.
Welcome to that world. You know what I mean? Or counting, or all the little OCD things that other people do, not me. But, and so maybe I'm rationalizing on some level, but I'm also very honest about it. And so when I tell you why this whiskey's good, and I take that sip and you smell it and you're like, man, he's right. And I go, how was your day? Oh, a good day. I made the, blah, blah, blah. Have a nice shot of whiskey. You earned it. That's different from I can't handle life. And
Exactly.
That's somebody else's father, But so anyway, I don't know.
No, that's a good thing to recognize for sure. And then, what can we expect in your book? Because I know it's going to be a while and everything, but what can we expect?
Find the title while we're talking here, if you don't mind. The book that I'm working on is called The Devil and Dirk Vermin, and then there's a long title after it, and that's you got it. Here, you read it. I'm sure you can read it better.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, The Devil. Oh, it's just called The Devil and Dirk Vermin on your website.
And then underneath.
Oh my gosh! I thought that was just.
I know.
An unapologetic and not so modest history of growing up and surviving Las Vegas. A completely biased social commentary loaded with subversive and agnostic ideology on the way to sell my soul to become a short-lived reality TV star. I think I've explained everything.
That's what the book is. That's the book. And so
I love that.
The title's obnoxious on purpose. It's called The Devil and Dirk Vermin! ! And
then a bunch of
but that other stuff is meant to be obnoxious, and it also tells you exactly what the book is, because everything I said in there, because I'm a devout agnostic, I am subversive. I do speak my opinion on everything.
Yeah.
And that's so, a lot of my quote unquote fans are not going to like big chunks of this book. Good.
Yeah.
If I'm writing it for them, then I'm not doing myself a disservice. Another thing that this is the first time I've ever announced this,
I have a book of fiction coming out as well, and it's going to be
awesome.
13 short stories, untitled, kind of like Alfred Hitchcock, Twilight Zone. So they have like a real kind of unique spin. There's everyone has kind of a twist ending.
Yeah.
And these are quick reads, 30 to 45 minutes of stories. So
awesome. That's really cool.
And I didn't know I could write fiction. I just decided to take a crack at it. So we'll see if I can. But
I'm sure you can. I think you'd be an amazing storyteller. I really do, because you're great at everything. So I think.
Oh my God, is this my favorite hour ever?
That's right. That's right. And I gotta ask, because I know like a lot of tattoo artists and stuff, not all of them, of course, but a lot of them say like, oh, I would never let my kids get tattoos. And so would you let your daughters, would you tattoo them?
Yeah, they don't want tattoos from me. They want tattoos from the women who work in my shop. My oldest is ready to get her sleeve. She has to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
And she'll rock it. She's a badass. Purple hair and Doc Martens. She's great. Big Ramones t-shirts, all that. My youngest wants to be a tattoo artist. And so Tiger Lily's 14, Jasmine is almost 17.
I love the name Tiger Lily.
Yeah,
I just had to say
it's a great name, and she wears it well. She's a little rock star, but she's every bit as good as I ever was at drawing and everything else. She just has this amazing little soul, and she's an artist from the day she was born. Okay. She'll be a very good tattoo artist. She will also be my last apprentice ever, and so she gets the opportunity of being 14. And starting a loose apprenticeship. That means, come by the shop, take out the trash, clean some tubes, that kind of thing. And watch and understand and ask questions. Why, Daddy, why do they do that? Why do they do that? How come you do that? And start to learn her craft. By the time she graduates high school, she could be a tattoo artist. Yeah. If I do it right. And that seems to be what she wants to do. And so I'm going to hold her to it.
Yeah.
And I said, you're not going to do anything for a few years. You're a kid. So we'll see, but she's not really a kid. She's tall as me, and but I'm so proud of both my daughters. They're unbelievable, and without being too corny, the best thing I am is a father. So
absolutely, that's awesome. And I want to go. We only had 2 minutes left in the show, which is crazy.
Man, that hour went quick.
It did. But let's go over everything. Where can people get a hold of you? Where can people follow you?
Social media. I'm pretty good with social media. I was pretty reluctant for years, but DirkVermin.com has not been updated in 2 years. Forgive me. So ignore half the shit on there. But DirkVermin.com is the good launching pad, so you can get to my Facebook and Twitter. I'm never on. I just whatever gets posted goes on Twitter. It's too much porn and politics on there for me. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a cesspool. I despise Twitter. So follow me or don't. I really don't care. Instagram's me. Yeah. I'm on Instagram almost daily, and I run the shop page as well. So just everything's under Dirk Vermin, one word. So Instagram's Dirk Vermin, Twitter's Dirk Vermin. I have 2 Facebook pages. They pretty much run the same thing. One's a fan page that was set up way back by A&E. I control that for now. That will be sent over to someone else. And then 1 more minute to tell you exactly what I was saying. So
awesome.
Just Dirk Vermin everything.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Well, I really had to say thank you so much for doing this. You're so incredible, and you're even better than I could have ever imagined.
Goodness. Thank you. Thank you, CoreyTaylorTalks.com.
Thank you for that. I don't promote my own stuff. So thank you for that.
Well, you should.
Well, thank you so much, Dirk.
It's been an honor.
You're incredible.
Thanks to both of you for listening and watching, and Charlie and Jeff. Thanks you as well. Great callers.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you, and God bless.